or indeed any sort of thing, gave me a fizz like the Ferrari.
Go! Good! I'm winning. It's tremendous. Easy. Yeah! Oh, I shouldn't feel so good, but it does. Good. I have been clever. This is a piece of cake. Ooh.
This, I believe, will absolutely mince the other two. Oh, man!
That's our track. Yes, we have one. This is the sort of place where you can drive cars at speeds that you can do on the road, but only if you want to go to prison afterwards.
What, like 38 miles an hour?
Well, 39, maybe even 40 from time to time. Now, we were hoping that we could bring it round the world with us, like the tent, but unfortunately it's too heavy. And as you're about to see, too bitey. This is it. It's not a race circuit. It's not an airfield. It's not a road. What it is brilliant and fast and extremely dangerous. It even looks dangerous on a map, because as you can see, it's the exact same shape as the Ebola virus. Right, time now to show you what a lap looks like, and to do that, we've got a bit of a performance benchmark, a Ferrari 488. Take it away. Take it away. First up, it's the isn't straight, so called because it isn't straight. After the second right on the isn't straight, we're into your name here corner. If you make a mistake, there's no runoff area, it's just woods. We've called this section Old Lady's House because it's right next to a house where an old lady lives. Get this 90 left right, or you'll crash into a cage full of electricity. And you'll need to get the final 90 left right as well, or you'll run into a field of sheep. So, trees, animals, a house, electricity, and because it's in England, usually quite a lot of moisture in the air. It really is the most dangerous track anywhere in the world.
Away! Go! Dab of brakes, apex it there. Here comes a really dangerous bend. Rubbish! grab of brakes. Apex it there. Concentrate, mate, concentrate.
I'm sorry I didn't say anything, that was my concentrating face. That's the most I've concentrated for 5 years.
Then it was my turn.
Hammond, you idiot! This is the fattest car, boat, in the world.
With an astonishing time on the score sheet, Hammond had it all to do, and we decided to give him some encouragement.
Hammond.
Yeah.
Really big crowds here today, as you can see.
Yeah.
Okay? Because they know you're going to break the record here.
Well,
54 seconds.
54.
Well, come on, you're at 1,200 horsepower. You've been practicing all morning.
Yeah, actually, it is the most powerful car here by some margin.
Well, I can't promise to.
It's the fastest car
win.
I've ever seen. Look at it this way. The whole of Croatia is watching this, knowing that you're going to do it for them.
In 52 seconds' time, you're going to be whatever the equivalent of a hero of the Soviet Union is, but in modern-day Croatia. They'll have a name
not
for
just
it.
Croatia.
But no,
it's the whole
spreading out.
Eastern European region.
Yeah.
You have got a lot riding on your shoulders, Richard Hammond. A lot.
You will be on a coin.
Thank you,
His
guys.
face will be on a coin.
Or a stamp.
Oh, I'm quite nervous. I'm suddenly nervous. Okay, here we get best shot, Rich. Yeah. Watch this.
Begin! I'm quite nervous. Try it now. Come on! Keep going! Come on! This is it! Watch this.
have the Ford Mustang RTR Spec 3. Mr. Slowly has what's called the Exorcist. And in his whining Dodge Challenger Demon, Hammond has an erection.
To make this, they took a Hellcat, I drove one before on the show, and just made it more of everything. Oh, I'm slightly alarmed. Oh, here we go. Oh, you ready?
Noise in the city.
For over 60 years, they stamped out the body panels here for icons like the Eldorado, the Fleetwood, and the Coupe de Ville. If it were up to James, this creaking monument to the Motor City's decline would be turned into a shrubbery. But it wasn't up to James. So it would become a Monte Carlo-style tunnel feature on our Detroit-themed racetrack. Because building the track involved heavy machinery and manual labor, Hammond insisted on doing everything himself.
That is going to be a fast corner.
Despite this, though, he soon had everything ready. Because the track had been built by the world's most accident-prone driver, we thought it best that the God-fearing Exorcist should christen it.
Go! Dab of brakes. Go faster. Slight slow there.
After his run, James couldn't wait to give Hammond some constructive feedback.
I just want to say, Hammond, you witless dishcloth. That is the worst racetrack I've ever been round. It's slippery, it's full of holes, it's full of obstacles for you to crash into, it's narrow.
It's challenging, is it? Technical.
It's not challenging, it's only about that much bigger than the car, and it's made of butter. And it appears to be full of asbestos waste.
Oh, it is full of asbestos.
Yeah, I'm sorry about
Oh, well,
that.
thank you.
Sorry, close your window.
I'm gonna bust your ass, evil boy. Oh, yes.
What are you going to do with it now? Because I've seen the film and I wouldn't do it.
Three, two, one, go!
Evil wins! Evil wins!
Before the duel began, I had a few practice laps on my own. Go. Whoops. Now we go on to the really fast bit. Go, 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 go! There we go, speed up again now. Oh, God. No! Yes, fast! For heaven's sake, I beg of you, drive fast. That'll do. Speed is the answer. Oh, dearie me. Oh, for God's sake. Come on! Come on! Oh, look at that for a tidy line. That's it, keep going, keep going. Ooh. It may not be able to get as far up a ski slope as a Range Rover, but for doing this, it's better.
Having cut his teeth in sports car racing in the late 50s, Clark's speed and talent was spotted by Lotus boss Colin Chapman, who signed him for his Formula One team in 1960. Clark soon set the motorsport world alight, especially in this car. The Lotus 25. In which, in 1963, he won his first F1 World Championship.
Oh my God! I am sitting where Jim Clark sat!
We're off. Come on, come on, come on. Now this bit is really scary. Right, we're all set.
handbrake horsepower for 1.5 litres, but they were still good for 180 miles an hour. Oh!
Thanks to its revolutionary monocoque chassis, the 25 was stiffer and lighter than any other F1 car, which meant it wasn't just fast on the straights, but quicker through the corners too.
Go! This is dangerous because of you. Oh yeah. Oh, I was born to do this! Try it now. I shall be victorious.
And in the 1963 season, Clark used it to win a record 7 out of the 10 Grand Prix.
Winner is Jim Clark. Nobody could possibly catch him now.
But 1963 was just a warm-up for what was to come. To get a true picture of Clark's genius, we must look at another year, 1965, when he hit heights no driver had reached before, or has done since. A modern Formula One driver does 21 races a year and often complains that's too many. In 1965, Jim Clark raced in 63 races. Some of these cars look similar, but they are all completely different. In a car like this, he'd do Formula One Championship. He raced in the British Formula 2 Championship and the French Formula 2 Championship in this car. He raced in the Tasman Series, a sort of Australian Grand Prix for Down Under, in this car. And then there's this Lotus Cortina, in which he decided to race in touring cars. And then if all that wasn't enough, he decided to go for the Indy 500. First up was the Tasman Series in Australasia. Out of the 15 races, Clark won 11 and took the crown. Then it was back to Europe for the British and French Formula 2 Championships, both of which he won.
Jim Clark led from the start. Winner is Jim Clark.
And in between the F2 races, he was jumping into his Lotus Cortina and racking up touring car victories.
Begin! Keep going! for God's sake. Go! Time to play. Wow! Unleash the beast!
And on top of all that, there was America.
The Indianapolis 500 has been called the greatest spectacle in racing.
America's most prestigious race would be a tough challenge. Oval racing at higher average speeds than he was used to against seasoned Indy veterans. For the Indy 500, Clark raced a specially developed Lotus producing just shy of 500 horsepower. However, although he already had a Formula One world title to his name, the Scotsman's CV cut no ice with the sniffy Indy officials, who made the upstart from across the pond take a rookie driving test before he could come.
Go! Come on, this is it! Plenty of power, this is good. Go!
Come Indy weekend, the upstart from across the pond qualified on the front row. And then, in the race itself, Clark up against America's finest oval racers, won by just over 2 minutes.
Jim Clark, first European to win at Indianapolis since 1916, set a new record of 150.686 miles per hour.
So what was it that made Clark so good? What was it that made him capable of winning in any type of car?
Jimmy was an absolute natural driver, and he did it without thinking. He didn't know why he was driving in this style the way he did. In the period that we're talking about, we had 1.5 litre cars, 200 horsepower. If you drove the car too hard, you would scrub the speed off. And if you lose a bit of speed, it's very difficult to actually make it up again. And that's what Jimmy had the knack of, keeping the momentum of the car going. I don't think that any of the modern drivers could have driven the car anywhere near as quickly as Jimmy did, because he was just so precise.
Again. Oh, here we go. Come on, come on, come on. Watch this. Come on, keep going.
Besides a supernatural ability to coax speed out of the car, Clark also possessed another vital skill.
A lot of racing drivers died in Lotuses because the Lotus was a very fragile car. But Jim Clark was so smooth that he never put too much stress on the areas of a car that would give up.
But don't think for a minute that Clark was one of those drivers that could only win in a perfect car. One year at Spa, for example, he was leading the race when his gearbox started to let go. Did he give up? Nope. Instead, he drove the rest of the race, and we're talking 160 miles an hour in the wet, with one hand on the steering wheel and the other holding the gear lever in place. And he still won by nearly 5 minutes. So let's just sum up Clark's season of 1965. Of the 63 races he contested, he won a staggering 31 of them and was on the podium a further 8 times. He was now seen as the greatest racing driver of all time, in demand the world over. Yet this shy Scotsman chose to mark the year's achievements with a modest celebration at his hometown back in Scotland. The next 2 years, by contrast, were a disaster, with multiple mechanical failures denying him another championship. However, in 1968, driving the Lotus 49, another game-changer from Colin Chapman, Clark took the first win of the year in South Africa and looked set for another dominant season.
Congratulations, Jim. This is absolutely a splendid effort. Okay, thank you very much.
And then, on the weekend of April the 7th, Clark had a choice of 2 races he could compete in. One at Brands Hatch, the other a Formula 2 race at Hockenheim. Fatefully, he entered the German race.
April the 7th is a bad day for me. He wasn't happy. It was freezing cold and damp, misty. We could not get any heat into the tyres. Couldn't get any temperature in them, no matter what we did. Jimmy said to me, "Phil, I do not expect anything from me today. Just keep me informed with the pit board, where I am, how many laps to go." That's the last thing he said.
On lap 5, Clark's car suddenly speared off the track at 170 miles an hour. When he died, he was just 32. But in his short career, he had racked up some truly incredible achievements. In Formula One, he won 25 of his 73 races, which in percentage terms puts him way ahead of Hamilton, Vettel and even Schumacher. In pole positions, he had 33, which again in percentage terms makes him second best of all time, just behind Fangio.
He was a benchmark. That was it.
Most of what I was able to do in motor racing was done by the manner in which Jim Clark drove, and I just followed him.
He was a gentleman. He was a gentleman and a gentleman. It's a pity he's not around now, because it'd be nice to have him.
Billy Bob embarked on his flying lap. Here he comes.
Go.
Well, that's remarkable. Help!
I have been clever. Hey! Yes! Here comes a really dangerous end.
Well, we don't know whether that's fast or not, but it is less than a minute. Is that the first time he's done anything in less than a minute?
He can't open a car door in less than...
No, he can't. Or sign his name.
No, that's 2 minutes. Definitely.
Biggles is back. I can do a slightly better one than that. Can I have another go?
Next, it was my turn. I just want to say, Hammond,
What?
you have twice as much horsepower as me, and May, you have 50 horsepower more than I've got. So it's only my immense skill that's going to put me in contention here.
Is it?
No, well, what else is there?
This sounds like
You won't have any excuses ready for the end of this race.
Yours weighs less. It's 200 kilograms lighter than this. I'm just saying, in case I'm not as quick.
Eventually, Mr. Racing Excuses was underway. Here he comes into his flying lap.
Go. Go. Looking good.
Drive carefully.
Very quick.
And there we are. I don't know how I've done, but it felt pretty good to me.
There are few things in life I enjoy more than delivering bad news to Jeremy Clarkson. It's possibly my favourite thing.
Forcing myself not to do a little dance.
How much faster was I?
Well, unless your seconds were smaller, you were slower, because you were 58.5.
What was he?
57.81. What that means is he beat you.
I cannot believe that. Has anybody got a gun?
Finally, it was the turn of Ricky Redneck.
Right, ready with the stopwatch.
Go! Gotta keep the pressure on. Go, go, go! Oh! Come on, come on, come on. Keep going. This is dangerous because of you. Oh my God! Unleash the beast!
The Ferrari Testarossa was excess on wheels. Be it looks, attitude, or even size.
When this car came out, people were absolutely aghast at how wide this car was. I don't mean wide like Del Boy, I mean wide as in width. It was enormous, especially at the back. And it simply oozed charisma from every one of its slatted panels. It was unquestionably the only car that could star in Miami Vice.
Away!
The price of this car when it went on sale in 1985 was £62,666. And that is, as I'm sure you know, the number of the beast. And when you unleashed its 5-litre V12, it would do 180 miles an hour. That was an astonishing figure for the time. Forward. Oh,
Full throttle. Go, concentrate, look through the bend. This is quite a complicated one. Go faster. Danger. Right then, let's go.
In fact, Enzo Ferrari loved that show so much, he actually gave its star, Don Johnson, his own Testarossa. And Don was just the tip of the celebrity iceberg.
Rod Stewart had one, Elton John had one, Mike Tyson had one, O.J. Simpson had one, and presumably wore driving gloves. If the 1980s were the era of excess, then, well, this was the perfect car for the era.
I'm afraid Mr. May has just been wasting your time, rather, because that is not the ultimate 80s supercar. This is.
For sheer over-the-topness, nothing comes close to the Lamborghini Countach. Alongside it, the Testarossa looks like a family hatchback. If you think the Ferrari is wide, this is even wider. And the Testarossa's doors don't open like this.
This version of the Countach, the LP5000, was launched in 1985 specifically to put the Testarossa back in its box. It's 48-valve, 5.2-litre V12 could take the Countach to 186 miles an hour, or to be precise, more than the Ferrari.
Go! Thing is, supercars, to me, are all about being the ultimate. Doesn't matter what that is, but it has to be an ultimate. And this is the ultimate bedroom wall poster car. When I first saw one of these as a kid, it lit a flame in my heart. And when I saw one today, as a middle-aged man, that same flame roared into life. Oh! I look pretty cool. Oh, an angry Countach!
And this incredible machine came from a company that didn't have half the resources of Ferrari.
This is what he came up with. engine is a 16-valve 2-litre turbo, as it was before, but it has new rods, new pistons, a new turbocharger, and a lot of electronic tweaking, so now it develops 330 horsepower. Go. I love this car precisely because it isn't an Audi. And I love it because someone cared enough to make it. And I love it most of all because it's giving me my youth back. It is a bloody brilliant car, this. I love speeding. Roaring up. More than you got in the old car.
It's called the Porsche 917. And even if you have no interest in motorsport, you'll most likely recognise this machine, because it's quite possibly the most iconic racing car ever created. The first thing you need to know is that although the 917 looks like a big, wide car, actually, it isn't.
Ow.
I'm in. God, it's tiny.
Holy mother!
Away!
Porsche is the most successful car maker ever to race at Le Mans. They have 19 victories to their name. But this is the car that started it all. This is the car that gave them that all-important first win.
Danger!
The following year at Le Mans, on the way to another crushing victory, it would go through the speed traps at over 241 miles an hour, a record that stood for more than 20 years. And in that same race, it was so fast it would cover a total of 3,315 miles, a distance record that would stand until 2010.
Easy!
dangerous bend. Oh, I shouldn't feel so good, but it does.
Life doesn't get much better than this. Cadwell Park, sunny day, Mark 1 Lotus Cortina. This thing is a riot.
Go. Oh, very, very quickly here. Oh. Oh, God, that looks tricky. Come on, turn! It is quite scary through here.
It had a revolutionary twin-cam 1.6-litre engine, which sounds like a murder of mad bees. It revved like hell, all the way to 8,000 RPM, and produced 105 horsepower.